Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me back, sir. Hello, my name is Sharmee Divan, and I am an intuitive coach. Now, an intuitive coach to a winner of the Mrs. India She's India pageant. Yeah, she's the first runner-up. I was coaching her, and she won the first runner-up title. So I am now coaching her for her future ventures. Yes, and I'm also an upcoming author. I'm going to be writing a book on angel therapy. That was a talk that I had last time. And today I'm here to talk about crystals. And what do we know about crystals? Any idea what they are?
It's they store energy.
They store energy.
As and when you can get energy from them. It's like a battery.
So if we know a little bit of science from our school days even, we know that there are two kinds of substances. One is the crystalline, one is the amorphous, and then the liquids and all of that. So anything that when broken forms a perfect molecular structure is crystal. So salt, sugar, these are crystals. Very commonly found in every household of every country. So we start from there. Now you're wearing that watch, sir. Do you know that there is a quartz crystal inside your watch? Yes. The automobiles that we drive, they also have crystal structures in them that make them run efficiently, especially the hybrid cars. So crystals are used not just in science and technology, but they're also used as a part of healing. And the basic structure of a quartz crystal is basically silica and oxygen. This is the chemical structure of a basic quartz crystal, which looks something like this. This is a natural quartz. This is natural, so it naturally exists in, usually these are Himalayan quartz. Some of them come from Brazil. Then there are, I will talk a little bit about the structures that are there of crystals. Now these, as I said, are the natural ones. Then there are the polished versions of these crystals. So that is a natural one, and this is a polished one. This is what a polished one looks like. Likewise, this is a selenite crystal. This is a natural one. This is a polished one. Of course, this is a Moroccan selenite, and I'm not quite sure which selenite this is. But once again, I'll come back to that. So, we use crystals, thank you, for different ways to heal ourselves and, to better our energies. Like you're seeing, I'm wearing a lot of crystals, and I love wearing crystals. It kind of keeps my energy going. It helps me heal from different things. So, for example, when I'm having a period, then my crystal combination will change because I'm aware of what works. Very simply put, if you know of the 7 chakra colors. So when we talk about chakras, it's the 7 colors of the rainbow. The crown, we begin with the crown, the violet, the indigo, the throat is blue, heart is green or pink, the solar plexus is yellow, the hara is orange, and then the root is red. So any crystal, if you want to know what a crystal does, for example, if I pick up this crystal and I show you, by the color of it, you tell me what can this crystal do, what part of your body can this crystal heal. It's a blue color. The throat. So it's the agya would be a clear or an indigo. So a darker blue. Although lapis is one of those that works for the agya chakra as well as the throat. Yes. So in that case you are right. Lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli is a crystal which has very, very high regard in the Egyptian culture. It's a very sacred stone, and back in the days it was only the king and the queens who used to wear this stone. And I will pass that around. So when we want to use crystals for healing, we could use wands. So this is what a wand looks like. This is a natural wand, all natural. This is a polished wand. Now a selenite crystal is used for cleansing energies. So there is something that we do called cord cutting. So what is a cord? A cord is basically an energy channel that I pass on from me to you. So right now also we are creating cords of energy which are positive. But when we have negative cords, say I piss you off and you piss me off and we have a fight, and then there is an exchange of negativity that goes on between you and me. When that happens, that cord, when it starts to strengthen, it makes you angry or it makes you more upset, your heart beating.
The energy is drained.
Exactly. So you do not feel good about that energy. So that is when you would want to cut that cord. You want to cut that energy. You want to stop that energy from coming to you and going back and forth. Which is why, of course, I will use a selenite one. Crystal, what we very popularly know as spatik. So this is a vajra which is made up of quartz, a vajra. Used in the Tibetan culture, the Buddhist culture, very often to create energy, and they shake it like that and they chant. It's called a vajra.
No, but is this a yantra?
No, it's a vajra. It's called a vajra, and they swivel it from side to side and they chant, and that creates the energy. Yeah. Yes. So there are different kinds of structures of the various crystals that I will talk about and how we use those structures. So let's come to the first kind, which we very commonly see, which are known as, these are known as cabochons. So any flat polished structure, so whether it is ovular or it is round or it is in the shape of a heart, a triangle, it doesn't matter. This is a cabochon. Of course, this is a heart cabochon, but it is known as a cabochon, and I will spell that out for you. It is cabochon, alternatively known as a cab. Now, it's very funny because most people will say, oh, this is a pebble. It's a pebble or it's a heart. Yes, but that is not what it is. Actually, it is known as a cabochon. We come to the very popular categories, I feel, who are the 10 must-have crystals in your little kit. If you are not somebody who splurges on crystals, then I would say these are your 10 must-haves. Most of them very cheap, very affordable, easily available, except for one which is citrine. So the first one, of course, is the all-time favorite. It's the master crystal. It's known as the master crystal because a clear quartz does everything for you, except we do not use a clear quartz when we want to reduce something. When we want to, say, if I'm working with a cancer patient, I will never use a clear quartz crystal with a cancer patient. Why? A clear quartz amplifies energy. जो भी मैं उसको देती हूँ वो बढ़ा के देता है मेरे को. So cancer cells you want to reduce. So a good crystal for cancer would be a selenite because it reduces, it cuts. Okay, it cuts energy. This increases it. So we don't ever want to use a clear quartz. There was a huge debate that was going on in the crystal community internationally about whether we use a quartz crystal or we don't for cancer patients, and the research said that we do not. Yes, except if you are using it alongside a crystal. So let's say I'm giving something to somebody who is having depression. Now a rose quartz is a great crystal if I want to give it to somebody who is having heart related issues, who's having a heartbreak, who is feeling sad, who is having depression, etc. Low energy. And then if I add a piece of quartz to it, then I'm amplifying the energy of this crystal. But this crystal with any other Cancer crystal also is very dangerous because it amplifies energy, period. So we just avoid it. So coming to the rose quartz, it's one of the most popular stones. It is a heart chakra stone. It's a beautiful soft pink color, very soothing to the eyes, and it heals the heart. I have very often used rose quartz when it comes to healing relationships, when it comes to self-love, when it comes to beautiful skin. Largely anything related to love energy is where you would use a rose quartz. And so this is a Brazilian rose quartz and this is an Indian rose quartz. So if you see the color of it, this is slightly more like strawberry-ish color. This is a more pink. It's a more soft pink. This is slightly with a slight tint of strawberry. That's how you would know from where this stone is coming. Slightly in detail. It took me a very long time to figure that out.
Different structure inside.
No, it's just a different quality. Yeah. So like sapphires are just a second. They are very popular from Sri Lanka. So Sri Lankan sapphire will be the best quality normally versus from maybe somewhere else. I don't know where else you get sapphires. Shapes make a difference. Why? Because now if I am using this, or like if you see I'm wearing a pendant which is also a cabochon, it's easier for me to put it on my body and just like have it stay there versus I'm putting a ball on my body and it's rolling all over the place. Okay. A sphere, what it does is when you are using a sphere, let's say this is my crystal. Okay, this is my spherical crystal. The kind of energy that this sphere radiates is, it looks something like this. So it is radiating energy in ripples or in concentric circles. So it is very gently spreading in the room. That's the reason why you will see spheres that are lined in rooms of healers and rooms of people who like crystals because they want that gentle energy to radiate. Then we have a structure called a pyramid. It looks like a pyramid, a crystal. And that crystal is used when you want to send a laser beam like energy. Why is that?
It's a concentrated.
It's a concentrated energy. So when I am using a pyramid, the pyramid, this is the point, so it shoots up energy like that. Going obviously upwards or coming down from the heaven, whatever that you're using it for. But normally you would place a pyramid in a room when you want to send a focused laser beam like energy. The same also applies to a quartz. So let's once again take a wand, not a quartz but a wand, and I want to, let's say if I point towards you, it means I have directed my energy towards you. So that's why they say कि किसी के ऊपर ऐसे उंगली नहीं उठानी, right? So the same way, they say in spirituality, be very aware of who you're pointing your wand towards, because it's a very direct intention. And if I don't mean well, that's not going to be a very good news. So if I'm directing a wand towards you, I have to be sending the right energy across, because once again, it's that laser beam focus energy. Think of like a laser light coming out from this. And it has been proved even through the Persian photography and stuff that it does send out that kind of an energy.
But this is in two shapes, right? It's a wand and a pyramid. So
This is not a pyramid.
This is a wand.
It's a wand.
Stick with the point.
It's
But stick with the point.
Yeah, a stick with a point. There is a point over here. It's a stick. It has many facets to it. A pyramid will only have the 4 triangles
Yeah.
and the square base.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is like octagon or something. Then we also have wands, which look something like this. These are known as massage sticks. So I can direct energy towards somebody. That's fine. Of course, I think iska tip shot toota hua hai, so I don't use it. But I can use it as a massage stick. So I'm having pain somewhere, I can massage that area and use it like a massager.
Which crystal?
Thick one.
This is a smoky quartz. This has carbon, it's quartz with carbon in it. And that's why it looks smoky, which is why it is called a smoky
Yeah.
quartz. Then we have a structure called tumbles. They look like little pebbles, but they are polished. They're known as tumbles.
But they're
This
natural
also
shape.
is a tumble.
But they're natural shape. These tumbles are natural
They
shape.
are natural, but they are polished. They've been polished. तो पत्थर टूट के गिरा या तोड़ा और फिर उसको पॉलिश कर दिया ताकि किसी को लगे नहीं. Now many people use these nowadays as decorations. 5 stars and all also you will see them. So these are tumbles.
Which material? This is
So
called
this is black tourmaline.
tourmaline.
It's black tourmaline.
Okay.
And then the
Okay,
purple
you will
one is an amethyst. And I'll tell you the uses of it. I'll pass it around. This one, in fact, I picked it up from Pushkar, the Brahma temple in Pushkar.
Okay,
I picked it up from a shop over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I go crystal shopping everywhere I go in the world. That's just me. Then we have bead form. This is citrine. Now, citrine is an abundant stone. This is a prosperity crystal. It brings you abundance, it brings you prosperity. It keeps away negative energy from you. And it is my all-time super favorite stone. I love it. I love it.
But
You will always see me wearing my citrine ring. And I always talk a lot about it. I call it the sunshine stone because it's such a beautiful yellow color that it just feels happy and it feels great to hold it even in your hands and kind of just be with it. I just have a whole lot of citrine, let me tell
These
you.
are also stones. There's another one which looks
These are
like this. They are-
crystals.
Okay.
Yeah. They're
But there is
crystals.
not some resin from the trees in Russia which they collect and they make.
Yeah, so there are crystals from all over the world. So lately in Russia, shungite is one of the most popular crystals that is being found. And
Expensive.
it is the only crystal that changes the molecular structure of water and turns it into a healing potion.
Acha, molecular structure
Yes,
of
it
water.
is the only
Very
crystal
expensive.
that naturally
Means you have to dip
changes.
into it for some time.
Yes, 8 hours minimum. Yes, you would dip the stone in the water for at least 8 hours, and you let it sit, and preferably in a glass bottle, not in a metal or a plastic, but a glass container. Leave it there for 8 hours, and then you drink that water, and it has extremely amazing healing qualities, such as shungite. It is Shungite, shungite or shungite, however you want to pronounce it. So let me come to the different crystals that I have got to show you guys. So I talked about the quartz, and I showed you there is the quartz cabochon. This is called a cabochon, any flat polished structure. Yeah. Then we have a wand. This is a polished wand. This is a natural wand, and this is standard throughout all of the crystals. Like I said, quartz is a master crystal. We use it for all sorts of healings except for cancer. Then we talked about a massage stick. It has a round base so you can massage with it. And I'm a foot reflexologist, so I have massage sticks, but I do foot reflexology for my clients. Yeah, it's fun to be my client, trust me. Then I talked about the shape of the vajra, and this is also available, I think, in amethyst and many other crystals. The other structure that I want to talk about is a tabular crystal or a tabby. And I will write that down.
Check. Yes.
What a tabby does is that it creates a bridge, it creates a connection. So it is a crystal that is oftentimes used for distance healing. Yeah? How do you know a wand versus a tabby? Now if you look at the base of these crystals, and I'll pass them around again, there is one side which is dominantly flatter. Chapta hai. So if we pass that around and you look at the base, you'll be able to tell this is a tabby and this is a normal wand.
But this is cut that way or?
It is cut that way, yeah. So these are polished.
It has different effects because
Yes.
it's cut in a different way.
And you're using it for different purposes.
Cutting a crystal also is a very big art.
Yes. So let's come to our next crystal, right? A smoky quartz. Now smoky quartz is a very interesting crystal, and once again one of my favorites, because it not only grounds your energies, it not only protects you, but it also uplifts your energies. It is, one of the few stones that does that. It's a very good quality thing to do. So many people, they wear anklets made of smoky quartz, so it kind of keeps their energy grounded, but yet very uplifted and happy and ready to connect with the higher realms because of the quartz element in it. We talked about rose quartz, which is the love crystal. And next we come to is a green aventurine. Once again, a heart chakra crystal. Green aventurine. They call it the good luck stone. It brings immense amount of good luck. You carry it in your wallet, you carry it in your purse, it will bring you good luck. It's a good luck stone. It's an abundant stone. Then we come to, once again, another super favorite of most spiritual people, which is an amethyst. An amethyst. I started my spiritual journey 15 years ago, and the first stone that I picked up was an amethyst. And I haven't left working with it. Amethyst is known as the master healer. It works as a painkiller. It works to remove addictions. It works as a protection crystal. It works as a prosperity crystal. It works to heal any and every aspect of your life. So this is an amethyst. It's a beautiful, beautiful purple color crystal. And purple is my favorite color. And then the next we have is a carnelian. It's a gorgeous orange color crystal used for the sacral chakra. Women who have PCOD, women who have any kind of female related issues, hormonal issues even, it's a great stone for that.
What's the name of this?
Carnelian. It is known as akik. Akik. The Muslim culture regards this to be as a very sacred stone. Their prophet wore akik ki mala. This is the stone. Oftentimes akik or Sulaimani akik. That is what this stone is. It is also a protection stone. It is also a prosperity stone. Which then brings me to my 4 amazing prosperity stones. So of course I talked about the green aventurine, the good luck prosperity stone, the carnelian, the protective and prosperity stone, and interestingly enough, lapis lazuli is a prosperity crystal. Not many people know about this. Lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli, if you see there are flakes of gold inside it. Look at it closely, it's a beautiful crystal. And for spiritual people who are in this field, we have a hard time receiving and we have a hard time voicing ourselves to say that I wish to receive. Which is the reason why, and the specks of gold inside it bring prosperity, especially to spiritual community of people.
So it's basically for
But these are basically meteors, so they are found in the earth.
They are natural, yes, they are found in the earth.
They're not meteors.
Natural.
They are
Because there are
not,
certain meteors which
Only
again
thing that got
they
destroyed
are not
is
meteors. Meteor crystals are different.
They're
What
different.
you're talking about is, I know the name. I'll come to it. I know the name. I'll come to it. And it's a crystal that I kind of like pick up and then I put it back and then I pick up and then I put it back, and I've just never quite gotten myself to buy it. I have no idea why. So we come to again a protective crystal, which is the black tourmaline.
right.
Black tourmaline, बहुत सस्ता बहुत अच्छा, सबसे सस्ता सबसे अच्छा kind of a guy. Like these two together might have cost me maybe $50. Okay. Usually they are like sold by kilos. A great way to use a black tourmaline. Now black tourmaline is used in factories and refineries that have high radiation. It is used to absorb radiation. Likewise to absorb negative energy. So healers will usually have them in their healing rooms alongside a selenite, because selenite cuts energy, it clears energy. This is the only crystal जिसको कभी साफ नहीं करना पड़ता. अगर you put it under running water, it will melt. It's like salt. You put it under running water, it will melt. Yes. So this you use to clean crystals, but you don't clean this one. You
But then
never
whatever
clean it.
negative energy
It
goes
doesn't
into
take
the-
negativity.
Doesn't.
It just बिखर जाता है.
And it's rough form.
This is a rough
It's rough
form,
form.
and this is
Because
a
they can't-
polished form.
The moment they polish, they cracks up.
No, it doesn't crack. No,
This
it's a
was
very
somebody-
soft. It's a very soft crystal. You want to be very careful with it. I don't really know how they are polished or anything of that sort. But what I do know is that they can be polished, and this is a polished wand. So if I have to, when I do cord cutting for my clients, I use this one when the cords are thicker in applied. When I'm not able to, easily pull out a cord, तो वो screw की तरह काम करता है, like you kind of screw it in and then you pull it out. That's what this one does. This one kind of just combs the aura out. So I use it in two different ways and two different amounts. So the black tourmaline, like I was saying, you can put it in every room. लेकिन बड़े बड़े पत्थर, at least 500 grams of a black tourmaline. Like so, this room would need about a kg of black tourmaline in the furthest corner from the door. So it would be that corner over there. So from the door, the furthest corner of any room, you put a black tourmaline. It will keep the space cleansed. It will keep the space free of negativity. Then we have jasper. Jasper is a reddish orange, orangish red color stone. It is a stone of the root chakra. Anybody who has spine related issues, stability related issues, it's a great stone for those people. And it is always a part of a chakra kit. This is a part of my chakra kit. And then last but not the least, my favorite, citrine. Now if you see, this particular mala which I have has all sorts of shades. Now when you see shades of a crystal, they're not called shades, but it is called gradation.
What?
Gradation.
Gradation.
So this is a graded citrine ki mala, basically. I wouldn't call it a shaded citrine, I would call it a graded citrine because there are different gradations of it. And something very interesting I would like to share about me is that every crystal that I own, as long as it is transparent, it will always have at least one little place where there will be rainbows coming out of it.
It's okay.
Yes. So any crystal I touch or I pick up and I take home, it will always have rainbows in them. Why is that? We lately just figured it out because my crystal friend, and we talk a lot and we discuss this, and I'll be like, Auntie, because she's much older than me. So I'll be like, Auntie, I don't know why I have this thing. And she was wondering why I have this thing. And it came in our meditation that a person who's a giver and a person, of course, who's very well connected with angels will automatically spread joy. And because that is what I naturally do, the crystals like me and they love me and they show me rainbows in them.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I'll tell you a story about this particular one. Now, when I bought it, maybe about 8 years ago, I just said, Auntie, I don't have the money to pay for this. At that point in time, I think it cost me like 2,500-3,000 for this. So I said, Aap rakho, side pe, I will pick it up on so and so day, so and so date. So I go there, like she just happened to, open her cupboard, and this is where it all began. So she said, Sharmee, your name was written on this packet, and half the beads of this mala have rainbows in them. I wonder how that happened, because you just said ki, rakh do side pe. And from then to now, we have a track record that if I have booked a crystal and it's lying at her place, it just develops rainbows. So that's the magic about me, I'd like to very proudly say. But even if you look at every bead of this mala, now every bead of this mala has rainbows, but all of them have little rainbows. But it is something that it just gives me so much joy when I see the little rainbows emerging, and it also shows that a crystal is working for you. Oftentimes, I also have a lot of students ask me कि यार इसका structure change हो गया, अंदर से milky हो रहा है, अंदर से clear हो रहा है. Why is that happening? So when a crystal is active and activated, when it is starting to work along with your energies, the inside of it changes. Because crystals are constantly growing like plants are. And because they are constantly growing and they're connecting with your energies and they're showing you that they're working for you, it is their way to show you. So don't be worried when a crystal gets milky or gets clear. Most of my crystals do that. And what you see inside a crystal are known as inclusions because they are inside, so they are inclusions. What you see outside, these things are the facets of a crystal. So that's all that I had to say about crystals, and I'm happy to welcome any questions that you may have.
What is pyrite?
Pyrite is again an abundance prosperity crystal. I don't have it with me. I don't know if I'm wearing any pyrite. No. Pyrite in the back in the days was known as the fool's gold.
Also, yeah.
Yes, they used it like money, like an exchange. And now, of course, it is used as an abundance crystal. And pyrite also comes from all over the world, depending on the quality is how much it will be charged. But it is a fairly expensive crystal. So is citrine. If it's a good quality citrine, yes, it is going to be expensive. But I use it also. You were asking about depression. This is a great stone for depression because it's like sunshine. It's a little piece of sunshine.
It gives a lot of energy.
Yes.
Because there's one German lady who had this, because I was in the Zoroastrian college. She had got this, and the moment you wear it, you feel a different energy.
That energy, which is why I always will have my citrine ring on, because I want that energy going with me. And most people have asked me if they can have the same ring, and they don't get it. So I end up picking up exotic crystals because I just love them so much. And it's been a really long time that I haven't talked about crystals with a big group of people. Otherwise, they're usually just a part